Good evening. We're going to call to order the January meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. The first order of business is an administrative meeting, and traditionally it is run by staff, but the only order of business on that is the election of officers and then review of the bylaw. So, Mr. Daigle, maybe I should turn it over to you to run the elections. And for everyone who's here, both alternates and regular members get to vote on the issue of officers.
So in accordance with the bylaws, the first meeting following a municipal election, the board will hold elections to elect the chair and the secretary. In the absence of the chair, the secretary serves as chair, so we don't have a vice chair. So I'll take nominations.
I nominate Carrie Callahan for chairman.
Second.
I nominate John Schoenhorn for chair.
Second.
Thank you. And then do I have, no, I'm sorry. All right. We'll start with vote for Carrie Callahan as chair.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. And vote for John Schoenhorn as chair.
Aye.
And I'm going to abstain.
Yep. Thank you. All right. And I will take a nomination for secretary.
I nominate Chris Cloud for secretary.
Nominate Steve Walsh.
Second.
Oh,
wait.
Hold on.
I'll second Chris.
All right. And second for Steve as secretary.
I second.
All right. Vote for Chris Cloud as secretary. Chris, you're abstaining.
I guess.
All right. And a vote for Carrie as,
No, that's
No.
Steve.
I'm sorry, Steve as secretary. Sorry, I wrote it down wrong. Yeah. All right. We've got 3 votes for Carrie as chair, 5 votes for John as chair. So John Schoenhorn is elected chair. And then we have 5 votes for Chris Cloud as secretary and 2 votes for Steve Walsh as secretary. So Chris Cloud is elected secretary. That concludes the elections.
All right, so we'll now call to order the regular business for the January meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. And I'll ask the newly elected secretary, Commissioner Cloud, to please read the legal notice into the record.
Sure. Town of Farmington Zoning Board of Appeals. Notice is hereby given that the Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a hybrid in-person and online public hearing Tuesday, January 20th, 2026 at 7 p.m. in the Town Hall Council Chambers on the following application. Andrew Ricci, applicant for variance to reduce the side yard setback from 40 feet to 17 feet to construct an attached garage and mudroom on an existing single-family home at 3 Poplar Hill Drive, R80 zone. Interested parties are encouraged to participate in this hybrid public hearing. It is the preference of the board that participants be in person. The link to this meeting may be found on the Town of Farmington's website at http://farmington/connecticut.org. About farm. Do I have to read this whole thing really?
No, you can write.
Skip the.
You can say as presented, or just at the town website.
A copy of this proposal is available online, et cetera, or by calling the planning department at Farmington Down Hall at 860-675-2325. Dated Farmington, Connecticut, December 30th, 2025. Farmington Zoning Board of Appeals.
All right, for those of you who have not been here before, and I'll note that I believe the applicant has been here before, the way this process works is we will have the applicant or his or her representative come up to the podium to speak, identify yourself and your address for the record. Anyone who wishes to then speak in favor of that application will follow. I will note that when each person gives their presentation, all of the members of the commission will have the opportunity to ask questions. We'll then hear from, as I said, people who are in favor or opposed to the application, and then the board will close the hearing and we will then deliberate and vote in open session. All right. So I'm going to ask Mr. Daigle, because this is a rehearing of an application that was here 6 or 7 months ago, maybe you could just, for the record, just summarize the history of this application, please.
Yep, give me one. Sorry, I was trying to get something set up. So this is a reapplication. The applicant was last year, June 16th, 2025, for a request to add a 2-car garage and mudroom within the side yard setback in the R80 zone. The board denied the request, stating that there was insufficient hardship. As the plan remains the same, but the hardship, I don't want to say argument, but request has been revised. The applicant waited the state statute required 6 months to reapply. So the homeowner is here to present the revised request hardship argument, and that's aside from the plan is the unchanged from the last meeting in June.
I just want to be clear, what you just said, that the plan is the same as the last time?
Correct.
All right. No changes to that?
No changes to the we'll call it the proposal. The requested hardship is different.
I understand. All right, thank you. So whoever is going to be here on behalf of the applicant, if you please come forward and identify yourself and give your address for the record, please.
Yes. Hello, my name is Andrew Ritchie and I live at 3 Poplar Hill Drive. I'd like to thank the committee for their time in reviewing this resubmittal for a side yard variance of 23 feet. As stated, the plans themselves have not changed. So we can go in detail over them. For those that haven't seen the plans or they're new to the committee, the significant change and the only change really is the hardship explanation and clarifying a few details from the previous meeting that was brought up. So yeah, I hope everyone had the time to review the provided hardship letter. I won't read it word for word, but did want to highlight some important points. The intent of this request is to exercise reasonable use of the land and increase safety by building a main floor access point. The location of the proposed structure on the west side is the only location that would allow for main floor access to the residents, and thus a variance is necessary to support the reasonable improvements to the property. Current zoning requirements, if strictly enforced, would prevent reasonable vehicular access to the main floor, the main living floor, and thereby impeding essential ingress and egress for residents, guests, and emergency services. Under the established zoning laws or zoning law principles, a variance may be granted where a strict application of the zoning ordinance would deprive the property owner of reasonable use of the land due to unique physical circumstances or conditions that do not generally apply to other properties in the same zoning district. In this case, the combination of steep grades and the non-standard configuration of the lot create a hardship not experienced by other property owners in the vicinity. All properties on Poplar Hill Drive have the ability to directly access the main level of their homes from the garage or driveway without traversing up a flight of stairs. And in reference to the main structure building area, the irregular shape of the lot results in 42% of the usable width of the property is taken up by setback requirements. Likely not the intent of the setback requirements to take 42% of the area, or the width. This gets back to the reasonable use of the land. The proposed structure would not create undue nuisance or damage the rights or property values of the other persons in the area, as evidenced by the fact that the other properties in the neighborhood all have direct access to the main level of their home. There's already precedence on the street too for multiple driveways as well. Getting into one of the points from the prior hearing about mature tree removal. Understand the concern. So last time we weren't exactly sure how many mature trees we'd be talking about. We do have more details now. It's 5 mature trees. 1 is dying. 2 are in the 150-foot setback of the ridge line. 2 are not, and 1 is dying. There are 97 mature trees and on the property, mature meaning over 10 inches in diameter at 4.5-foot grade. So just over 5% of the trees, the mature trees on the lot would be removed. So any tree removal should have minimal effect on the appearance or presence of mature trees on the property. We will be planting at least 5 more trees following construction. And, you know, those are the main points from the hardship letter that I wanted to convey to the committee. We can go over the plans, and if there are any questions, please feel free to interject. Garrett has
Got the site plan.
Sure, site plan would be great. So looking at it from the road, the proposed addition is on the left side of the house. That's at the same grade as the main floor. Right now, there is 2 garage bays, but they're on the basement. They're on the other side of the house. Yep, where that driveway is. There's provided a rendering. It's not to scale. It's not a formal plan. This was done by myself in a modeling program. Getting the variance is the first step before formal plans. So we're still at the first step. But this is what it would look like. It's not higher than the main structure that's there. It will be conforming to the building codes and the building codes.
Do you have more? Are you done? I didn't want to be paused. So I don't know if we're waiting for another image or something.
Oh, sure, we can keep going through the plans, Garrett, just to refresh everybody.
Let me.
Satellite images. There's that area before we bought the house was a screened-in porch that will be removed, and the pad. There's a concrete pad there now, would be removed for construction. It wouldn't be in addition to that room. Trying to think, the driveway. I mean, we saw it. Yeah, we saw it on the plans, but for reference, the driveway would be on the left there, likely intersecting those 2 mature trees on the left that are. Sorry.
He was pointing to all.
Yeah, I was pointing to the driveway. I'm sorry. So
Those 2 trees are beyond the 150-foot ridge line setback. And then there'd be 3 more trees behind it, one of which is dying, like I said. If you keep scrolling, we're getting close. I don't have too much more here. This is from the backyard. I think there's another picture here where we show how far it would come out from the
There you go.
backyard. Yep.
There we are.
So right there, so that tree on the right there, and then the one above the arrow are the 2 main. Yep. Trees. Believe that's all I have.
All right, thank you. We'll now turn to commissioners. We'll start with Commissioner Subramanian. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question for Garrett. I know Mr. Rizzi mentioned that the other like nearby homes have multiple driveways. Have there been previous requests brought to the ZBA for those neighboring homes?
No, that is in the zoning regulations, that is what dictates driveways.
Mhm.
And then it's up to the town engineer to determine if multiple driveways are permitted on a property. So I think right across the street, there's one driveway. Next door, there's a horseshoe driveway. It's about every other house, we'll say, because now you have a single driveway, horseshoe driveway.
Okay.
But no,
And do we know if they've had like a similar problem of like having like not having access to the main floor and needing to come to ZBA to get a variance for that?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Only because lots become more level.
Got you.
Or the driveway comes up to meet the house originally. I can. So. Let's do this. So here's 3 Poplar.
Mhm.
So here's their lower driveway.
Yep.
Which goes to the garage down here.
Mhm.
And then starts sloping up. But if you see the neighbor's house, it goes the drive. It's not the best medium. The driveway slopes up to the house, and I think the house is set further back. Yeah, the house is set a little further back from the road. And then apparently it stopped in 2007. Again, the driveway rises up to meet the house.
Yep.
Across the street, driver rises up to meet the house. Let's do topography instead. Be a little better. It wants to load. All right, that's not loading. All right, so this is shaded relief. So again, here's 3 Poplar. So this is the house.
Mhm.
You can kind of see the flat part for the driveway here.
Yeah.
Neighbor across the street, you can see the driveway. Now the driveway comes up and then it's level with the house. This driveway comes up, meets the house. Again, driveway comes up, level area in front of the house. Driveway comes up, level area in front of the house. Also set back further from the front property. And if you notice, all the other homes are set back further from the road than the existing home. Then 3 Poplar. Sorry.
Okay.
So same thing. Rises up,
Mhm.
rises up. This home at 30 has 2 driveways.
Mhm.
So I'm going to guess they've got a garage here and a garage here. Again, rises up to meet the house. Or it's a 1-story house.
Awesome.
Is that enough?
Yeah, no, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Garrett. And just another question. So how many cars can fit in your current garage, which I'm assuming will still remain after this project, right?
Correct. We're not planning on doing anything to the current driveway or current garages, and 2.
Okay, so 2.
Yes.
Is there, just out of curiosity, for this new proposed garage, is there a reason that it's a 2-car garage instead of a 1-car garage?
There need to be a variance either way.
Yeah,
Um,
understood.
the one car, or it would seem, in my opinion, out of place in the neighborhood.
Mhm.
It would stand out more. As Garrett showed, a lot of the driveways are on the left, not all of them, but they all do lead up to a two-car facing the street. Putting myself in somebody else's shoes, I'd want it to match the rest of the neighborhood.
Cool. And is that accurate? Like they have typically, like when they have two driveways, it's like a two-car garages?
I think most of the homes have at least 2-car garages, no matter what.
Okay, okay.
Obviously this, let's see, can I? This is wider. That might be a 3-car garage across the street.
Mhm.
This was definitely a 2-car. That was definitely a 2-car. This, again, that's wider. That's likely a 3-car. This house has 2 garages. They've got probably 2 bays there, 2 bays there.
Okay.
This house, I'm gonna guess, has 2 bays in the front. It either drops down, and they've got 2 more bays in back, but they also have a detached shed. This, there's too much tree cover. Again, this we have 3 cars and 2 cars here, just based on the width
Okay.
of the driveway. 2 cars, 2 to 3 cars,
Mhm.
multiple cars. 4 cars here. You can see the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 garage bays.
Wow. Awesome.
So
Thank you.
no problem.
That's it for me.
Commissioner De Santoro?
Just 2 quick questions. One for Garrett, the 42% of usable space, is that typical?
It varies on the lot. The minimum frontage in the R80 zone is a minimum of 200 feet with 2 40-foot side yards. This lot, it's wide at the front, but then gets narrow in the middle. This isn't a straight line. It tapers out a little bit, but obviously this line over here tapers in quite a bit.
So it's irregular.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you've got the ridge line back here that anything with 150 feet needs to be reviewed by TPZ for approval as well.
And were there any letters or anything from neighbors in support or against?
Not submitted with this application. There was a letter of support with the previous application.
Previous, okay.
But that was, yeah.
And one more question. The screened-in porch that is now down, is that in the same spot where the garage would be?
It's enclosed. It's still there.
Oh, it's
You
still
just
there.
enclosed it.
It was enclosed. The pad is still there. We didn't do any construction. The walls are down.
Oh, okay.
Walls are-
I'm sorry.
So, but
We
is
didn't
it
do
in
any,
the same spot?
I'm sorry.
Is it in the same spot or is that the breeze, like
It would be if we pull up the rendering.
the breezeway area?
Get so here's is that the existing former
The
screen?
walls are down.
Yeah.
But we didn't do any.
Yeah, just to give them everyone context for
Yep.
and then so again that's here.
And then if you go to the
If I can
rendering.
scroll slowly.
Yep.
There we go.
So that would be the mudroom there.
Got it.
So this is
Thank-
this is the side wall of the house,
Correct.
Thank you.
and then side wall of the house right here. So this would
Thank
be
you.
a new mudroom, the garage to the side.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Commissioner Walsh?
No questions at this time.
Commissioner Gemsky?
My questions have been asked right now.
Commissioner Cloud?
No questions at this time.
Commissioner Callahan?
No questions.
Commissioner Brady Benson?
I do have a question. You mentioned safety as one of your reasons, threats to public safety. Do you have a front door on the house?
Yes, the front door is up a series of steps and walkway. Yes, there is a front door from the driveway. It's up
Yeah,
steps. It's at the
trying
same
to see the-
grade as the proposed garage.
I can't get a good angle. Let me try.
So I guess I would ask Garrett then again, another question. So in other applications, have there ever been applications asking for another entrance to a house for safety reasons?
Not that I'm aware of. Um,
Oh, no.
At least in
the
my-
10 years that I've been on the board, there has
Yeah.
been no such application I'm aware of that are required.
and I've been here 4 years, so that's less than John. So,
Right.
You both beat, and I don't recall it either.
yeah.
That's right, he was here longer. He's the
Yeah.
senior member.
And then some of my other questions were answered. And then you also mentioned in your letter about the value of the property as an issue. Let me find that in your hardship details. Is that one of the hardships that you're mentioning? Is that not having something that's comparable to the other neighbors is going to reduce the value of your home?
Do you mind?
Fourth bullet on page 3,
Page
under hardship details.
you say fourth
Strict enforcement.
one. Thank you.
Would result, I suppose I could have said could result in diminished property value. You know, it's not having access to the first floor could result in that. Not having driveway access to the main living levels.
So it's really just about driveway access. It really doesn't have anything to do with the safety or anything else because you can get into your house. You went through the front yard. I mean, I used to work in EMS, so I mean, I could get in your house. But so I guess that I'm just wondering if, yeah, just to make it, I guess, more succinct.
Is that a question?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Commissioner Membrino.
Thank you. I have a question, maybe a clarification. So when she was just saying that you did have access through the front door for emergency services or anything to that effect, there is access, but the topography of your land, the access is much more difficult than the other houses on Poplar Drive, correct?
Yes.
And I think this is additional from what I saw before, but when we looked at all those houses and Garrett was going up and down the street, every one of those houses has main floor access to their garages also. Every other one. Yours is the only one that does not.
Correct.
And the problem with yours is the topography of your land.
The topography, yes, and then the unique lot shape where,
Yeah,
where
'cause
it
it's-
narrows.
And it's angled much more.
Correct.
And just so I understand, Garrett, there were no neighbors or anything like that that were in disagreement to this. You haven't gotten any,
I have not received any correspondence in favor or against for this application.
nothing against this. Okay, thank you.
I have a few questions.
Sure.
Of course, I remember when Poplar Hill Drive, there's no houses on it. It was actually part of the Metacomet Trail. And I was actually the trail manager for that section. And it was before they built a lot of those houses. So your house was built in, as I understand, 1964, right?
Yes, correct.
Most of the houses were built sometime in the late 80s or even the 90s, right?
Towards the end, correct.
So
Maybe
a lot of the pictures we saw of the houses with the horseshoe driveways, for example, that used to be woods, right?
So the first two horseshoe driveways on the right are, I believe, all from the 60s. I know the one right next door is. Going down further, I believe the cutoff from newer houses to older houses are kind of two cul-de-sacs down here. If you keep going down.
Yeah.
road here.
Here,
Yeah, right, there's the
Um,
cul-de-sac.
Mr.
Yes.
Chairman, do you mind if I just pull the property cards real quick and we can just go, I can just find the year built quickly for some houses. Let's see. So next door was 1965, so that's the house immediately adjacent. Just gonna skip up 2 houses. 21 Poplar was 1965. 33 Poplar was 1969. And I'm gonna guess right about, that's obviously a new one. 55 Poplar is 2001. And 45, I'm gonna guess is similar to that. 1999.
And just while I'm asking you, so if you go a little bit further, there was that rather large real estate there, where right
Yes.
there, that's the former, we used to call it the 50 Cent House, right? That was the
And that was
Mike
80
Tyson's house before that, right?
yes, and that was 85.
Okay.
And then that's when, because the cul-de-sac is, the first cul-de-sac is right here, so that was the original end of the road.
Mhm.
And then the road was extended.
Right, I remember it used to be just a path that we painted blue blazes on along that section there, so.
And then it continued, yeah, now the
And that's
path
in my
is here.
backyard now, the blue blaze at the bottom of the hill.
On the side where you want to put this garage, you said that the number of trees, that one of them, you said is dying, right?
Yeah.
And is that noticeably, I mean, are there no leaves on it in the summer? Did an arborist tell you that, or is it just that it's older and maybe?
I apologize. We can disregard that. I don't have a picture to show you, but the base is just, there's still leaves on it. The base is a mess. But I don't have a picture to show you. I don't have an arborist saying, a report saying it's beyond its life. So we need to count that as 3 trees.
Okay. And on that side of the house, you mentioned the total number of mature trees with a 10-inch diameter trunk on your property.
Mhm.
But how many would be left on that side of the house if you were to take down those, I think you said 5?
Yep.
Mature trees? How many would be left between your side of the house and your neighbor's property?
So just to clarify, not all the way back to the property line.
No.
Just where we stopping.
Right.
Is it?
So I think if I remember correctly, the utility pole is right on the line. But yep, so
Where would you like to stop going back?
yeah, so here's the utility pole.
Yep.
If everyone can see. So utility pole there, so the pin is about, we'll say 5 feet behind that. And if I go back here, so here's our utility pole. The property line starts back there and then continues back. So you've got, I believe it was this tree and this tree need to come down.
Correct.
Would need to come down. And I'm just gonna pop over to the pictures in the application because those get closer. 1 second. So this is facing towards Poplar Hill Road. So this is the town car, it's in Poplar Hill Road. So these are the 2 trees that we just pointed out. So you've got one here, one here. And then this smaller one likely needs to come down. That's
actually
I was gonna say, you can kind of see the base does not look that great in this picture. That's probably the tree that Mr. Ritchie was, yep, that's the tree Mr. Ritchie was saying needs to come down. And then if I pop back here towards the back, you've got this one, this smaller tree, and then this large tree as well. This one may or may not, depends how close the garage is, but if it's leaning towards the garage, it's likely best to take it down at that time when you've got the equipment on site.
And if you can keep that picture up for a moment, is that horizontal line where the garage floor would be?
Approximately.
So how much fill are you talking about putting in that from the side of the house over in order to maintain that horizontal level garage? And what are you going to have in the back of that? Is it going to be stone? Is it going to be just a cement wall? How are you planning on doing fill and or cement in that area or other material?
Sure. So the idea would actually be this is a walkout basement in the back. So the idea would actually not be to bring in a bunch of fill, but to do some slight earth removal. And yeah, I mean, the aesthetics for the back of the house.
Let me see if I've got a picture of the back.
Not sure
I don't remember if we've got.
gone that far. But
No, I remember
walls
being
of
back
concrete.
there, but I don't know if oh, here we go. So the line's not here, but if this is the deck, so you can see the deck level. We'll say it's about level with these shingles.
That's the main floor. Yep.
Yeah, so that's the main level. Usually, a garage is a step down, at least a minimum of a step down, just so you don't get water in the house. So we'll say, we'll go down 2 rows of shingles, which brings you, we'll say about there.
So are you going to build a retaining? What are you going to use on the backside to level that area? I assume you're not going to pour cement down to that level, right?
No. And again, don't have formal plans, but there can be a suspended floor with storage underneath if needed. It's not going to be that volume of cement, no. And bringing up that grade, I assume I'm not sure. I'd be speculating. So.
All right. Okay. And then the next one, you're talking about having some kind of underfloor storage area, then you would have to excavate some of the hill soil that's there now, wouldn't you?
Correct.
All right. And as from this view, I noticed that it's a slope down. So if I was behind where this picture, there's this is part of the ridge line, is it not?
Yes. Hang on.
This is about 120 feet from the ridge line where the house is.
All right. And down the bottom of the hill is where the Metacomet Trail goes now. There's also wetlands down there, is it not? And a very steep grade.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second.
Yep. Starting about
Ridge line. I don't think the wetlands show up here for what we want. Yeah, there's wetlands down here, but obviously this is a pond. That's wetlands. And then there's ridgeline here and there's ridgeline here, so there is a bit of ridgeline in the middle. We have to measure it to determine exactly where it is.
But it's quite steep back there. You're right on the
Here, yeah,
ridge somewhere in there, right? The property is.
Yeah, so it's brown, so it doesn't show. Here's
the steep drop off.
here's the ridgeline,
is about 120 feet
approximate.
away from the house.
So here's the house. It's taking a while to load. You got the existing driveway here. Drops down further. So here's the patio. Here's the deck that we were just looking at in the photo. So you've got 10 feet of elevation drop between the front door and the patio. So you've got 470 at the front, 460 at the patio. And then it continues to drop down. There is a level area back here, but that gets closer to the ridge line, and then it's steeper here. It's taking a while to load.
The survey of the lot should have the numbers.
Yeah, I think it only did this right near the house. Yeah, that's the only thing. Helping you very much. And then it gets steep down near the bottom, and then you end up at the wetlands down here. I think the survey only covers a couple of the grades.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, and they did it assumed, so they didn't do a datum. So we've got they assumed let's see, where did they assume 100? Yeah, 100 is the patio. The garage is at 109, so you're about 10 feet up for the garage floor. And then you drop down, so from the back of the patio to the edge of the yard, you drop down another 8 feet. And then there's a pipe on this side from the street. There you go. So here you can see here it gets steeper. You drop down from so 450. I'm sorry, 460, 450, and then quickly drop down to 410.
So 50 feet in close grade.
From the house, yeah. If you go to the back property line, that's about 400. So you've got 50 feet of 60 feet of drop from the patio to the back property line.
60 feet.
60 feet.
And most of that starts.
Yeah, most of that is outside of the lawn area. So that's where you get the 450, and then you drop 50 feet down to the edge of the property line.
And just to follow up on a question that I think Commissioner Grady Benson asked, there hasn't been a situation you're aware of where any emergency services has had difficulty either egressing or ingressing your house. Are you?
I'm not aware of any emergency services. Luckily, have not been to the house while we've been living there.
And no one from either the fire department or the police department have indicated that your house, or even the building departments indicated that the front door to your house is not easily accessible or is any way dangerous.
Nobody has mentioned that so far.
Thank you. I have no further questions. Does anyone else want to ask follow-up questions before I turn it back over? Any other questions? Okay, thank you, sir. This is the part where we open up the hearing to anyone else who wishes to speak either in favor or opposed to this particular application. If you do, please come up to the podium and identify yourself. Anybody? All right, give us your name, address.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Carl Raymond. I live at 11 Poplar Hill. So in the images, if you're looking at 3 Poplar Hill from the street just to the left, I just want to voice my support for the project. We're the next door neighbors. Andrew was gracious enough to kind of walk us through the plans, the tree removal, address any of our concerns. I will say also I wrote a letter of support the first time around. And one point I do want to make, just because it seemed to be something of a sticking point, and I know it's anecdotal, but I've had a lot of knee issues in my life. I used to dislocate my knees, and that did happen once in a house that didn't have first floor access, and having to be gurneyed or wheeled out on a gurney downstairs was extremely painful. So I just want to make that point that I think there are reasons where, to the extent you can have first floor access for medical services, it's well worth it.
Does anyone, we'll just go through Commissioner Subramanian?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I know when reading the letter, I was concerned about accessibility, and I do really get that point. I can't quite tell from the pictures, but is there like some sort of like sidewalk or like paved path from like the front of the driveway that leads straight to that main door in the front? Or is it just like grass? And I even see like trees blocking the front.
Yeah, hold on. Let me, there is a walkway. So here's the driveway. Here's the walkway. And then these lines are steps in the.
I don't think
what you're showing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There we go. There we go. Sorry about that, everyone. All right. So here's the existing driveway edge. So here's the patio again as a reference. We've got hardscape here, there's a landscape island here, and then each of these ticks is a step up. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 to 15 steps from the driveway up the walkway all the way up to the front door.
And that's the front door facing Poplar Hill.
Yep. So here's the landing patio, and then the front door. You can see the steps up into the house, which is right here. So this is the front door,
Okay.
and then the proposed addition is over here.
Cool.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Anyone else?
I just had a clarifying question. Which side of the house are you on? Are you on the side where the construction is going to happen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other questions? No?
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Does anyone else wish to speak either in favor or in opposition? Yes, please. Identify yourself by name and address, please.
Yes, hi, thank you, everyone. I'm Marcus Josephson. I'm at 15 Poplar Hill Drive, so that's one house further down from Carl, who just spoke. So 2 houses down. So again, I'm also here to voice support for the project. When we actually are relatively new to the neighborhood. We moved in about a year ago, just a little under, and we actually were surprised at just how shifted all of the buildings are on the whole street. Right. So when you look at the lot map from above, every house has to be tucked into the left corner. And so we actually, before we got our survey, we were very surprised at how much more land there was to the right of our house, which is kind of the nature of these lots, right? And I think that's part of the reason as well. When you look at the variance, it's 40 feet into an area that is quite open towards the next house over. And this house doesn't look squashed in. It actually will look more balanced for the neighborhood overall. So that's just a few of the reasons that we're supportive. And then in addition to that, we have little kids. We've been over to the Ritchie's house, getting up there with a stroller. It's like, you can do it. For those of you who have had strollers that you've carted around, you can always make it work. But being able to actually access in a more reasonable way, we can him and all about whether or not that's true safety or not. But from our perspective, it's a heck of a lot easier to get in if you can roll the stroller. And so just a few points that we wanted to make as well in support of the project. So thank you. And if you have any questions for me, happy to answer them.
Anyone have any questions?
No.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Good evening, commissioners. John Healy, 8 Poplar Hill Drive. I live directly across the street from the subject property. I'm here to join my fellow neighbors just in support of Andrew and Caroline's application. I agree with everything that's already been shared just about the suitability of the project, the support from the neighborhood. I would just like to give some additional color as the longest tenured resident of the street sitting here. We've been there for 13 years. We were very good friends with the prior owners of 3 Poplar Hill. Many of you probably know Chuck and Jean Pickens. Chuck passed away several years ago, but as his health deteriorated, it became very, very difficult for Jean to be able to get him from the garage, from the car up to the first floor of the house. So while I don't know if that is of any great moment based on the law that you have to apply, I at least wanted to give that context, particularly for that house. I certainly understand the concern about the trees and the foliage. We have no shortage of them, as all 4 of us who have to rake our lawns know. But it sounds like what is being proposed now is a extraordinarily limited environmental impact, we cannot be more enthusiastically in support of our neighbors. So happy to answer any questions.
Does anyone have any questions? I'll just note for the record that our charge, our responsibility, we cannot consider the personal interests of a particular resident, and we have to do it based on the topography and whatnot. So, but thank you for sharing that.
My pleasure. And Mr. Chairman, if you did work that stretch of trail, I don't know if you interacted at all with the prior owner of our house, Dr. Waugh, but he had initially owned most of the properties on what was Poplar Bars. And it's amazing in our house, we have all the old deeds and things as all the parcels were sent.
I remember when
Yeah.
I was involved in having to move the trail down behind the houses down.
Once he
below,
started developing it, yeah. So
when it is bought out as open space.
that's it.
Thank you.
But thank you all for your service.
Mr. Chairman, before we leave, can I have a personal privilege this evening? I just wanted to take a moment for fellow commissioners to know and thank our former commissioner, John Keel, not only for his service here on this zoning board of appeals, but John just recently stepped down as the chief of staff for the Republican Senate in Connecticut Republican Senate. And I want to thank him publicly for all of his good work for the state of Connecticut and the citizens of the state of Connecticut. Thank you, John, for all you do. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. Appreciate it.
Noted for the
Thank
record.
you, John.
Thank you all.
Nope. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I guess this is a question more for Garrett. Are there like accessibility guidelines for single family homes in Farmington, or anyone who would be able to point that out?
Like something the town would,
Yeah.
not for single family homes.
Mhm.
We do have a universal design regulation, but that is more for businesses and like the Unionville Center and Farmington Center zone. So if you notice, I believe it's the McDonald's in Unionville Center has full bar ADA buttons to open the doors. It's not just a button on the side, it's the full length. So that way, if you're in a wheelchair, you can just bump into it and open the door. Not necessarily for something the town would have. I believe AARP has a guide to aging in place and planning your home. I don't have it readily available. I think it's up in my office. Has a guide of aging in place and making, adapting your home to work for you as you age. Not to say that Mr. Ritchie's older. I just
No.
it was a resource that was given to me at a meeting, so that I know AARP has done that. It's not necessarily anything the town has done.
Understood. And has there been a history of like another ZBA case that was brought up where a home has been modified and needed a variance for an accessibility reason, like removing stairway to entrances? Because I
can't remember the case off the top of my head. I believe there was one, at least for an ADA ramp into a house, because of the way the house and the setback from the road, it was too tight. And it was considered a reasonable accommodation at that point. That was a little different because I think it was a condition that the ramp had to be removed. Because the ramp is more a temporary structure than building. That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. For ADA accessibility.
Okay.
Again, obviously that's not the case, but
yeah.
And I can think of at least one in Unionville where we granted a variance for a modification. I don't remember exactly what the modification was in order to accommodate an aging parent.
Okay.
But that was a long time ago.
Understood. Thank you.
all right.
All right. So
Mind if I just do online first, Mr. Chairman?
I was going to say,
Okay.
do you have any online? I know this is a hybrid meeting,
Yep.
so is
If
there anyone
anyone-
appearing online?
Yep. If anyone from the public has called in and like to comment for or against this application, please use the raise hand function in Zoom. All right. Hold on one second. Mr. Perina, you should be able to speak now. You may have to unmute yourself. There you go.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Niranjan Pereira. I live next to Suriki, and I'm in 124 Mountain Road. I think he did came to us and explain his proposal, and I do not have any concern, and I do support the proposed development in his land. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone on the commission have any questions? Anyone? Thank you very much, sir, for your comments.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks.
Is there anyone else, Mr. Daigle?
Nope, that's it. That's all that's called in. So,
All right. So at this point, I'm going to close the hearing. And now we will move to the issue of deliberation. The way this works for our new commissioner is that the vote, that only the regular members will vote unless there was somebody was absent, but the motion is always addressed in the affirmative. So whether or not the matter will be approved or not, the motion has to be to approve with a second for there to be discussion, and then we take a vote. So I'll entertain a motion for purposes of discussion from the regular members.
I move to approve Andrew Ricci's application for a variance to reduce the side yard setback from 40 feet to 17 feet to construct an attached garage and mudroom on an existing single-family home located at 3 Poplar Hill Road, R80 zone.
I second.
Is there a second? Commissioner Cloud seconds it. Discussion. Why don't we start with Mr. Callahan as the movant? Do you have an opinion?
Yes, I support the application. I believe now, as I did last time it was here, that the evidence, primarily the topography of the lot, was sufficient to establish hardship under the statute.
All right. Anyone else want to comment?
I agree with what Carrie just said.
Mr. Gemsky?
I agree.
Wow. I agree. Commissioner Grady Benson?
I agree.
And I'll just say that I don't see that there's any real difference between, I appreciate that you, and it sounds like it's going to get approved. I appreciate that you made a much more thorough presentation this time. I think last time, if I recall, your main argument was you didn't want to have your wife take the children up the stairs, which clearly would not, in my view, be a sufficient reason. However, because of the taking down of the trees, because it's not clear to me how you're going to build what looks like at least maybe 6 feet to 8 feet high cement wall or something to build the floor of the garage on. I don't see that the hardship is sufficient to overcome the zoning regulations in this case. Now, it's still my understanding you have to go before the Planning and Zoning Commission because you're so close to the ridge line, but I'm just raising that concern now because I don't see this, the trees, the mature trees coming down, as well as the height on which you have to build this garage, with the idea being that you want to have 4 garages instead of 2, would be, in my view, sufficient to overcome the importance of the regulation. So for that reason, I'm going to vote no, but I'm going to have Mr. Daigle call the vote.
Yep, no problem. All right.
Unless anyone wants to speak before, I'm sure everyone on the board has a chance. All right.
All right, I will call the roll vote, Mr. Chairman. All right, Commissioner Callahan.
Aye.
Commissioner Cloud.
Aye.
Commissioner Walsh.
Aye.
Commissioner Gemsky.
Yes.
Commissioner Grady Benson.
Aye.
And Chairman Schoenhorn.
No.
All right, there are 5 votes in the affirmative, 1 in the negative. The variance is approved.
And you'll now work with the town. They will go over with you your plans, and you still have to, I guess, make an application if you haven't already with Planning and Zoning Commission. Thank you for all of you coming here tonight. Good to see you again, Mr. Dillon. And I realize that before we go on to the remaining regular business, I realize I neglected to include discussion of the bylaws that was on the administrative.
That's fine. Let me pull those up.
And I'm just going to just say for those that are here, everyone has the bylaws. We, pursuant to our bylaws, can amend them every 4 months, once a quarter. And in the past, we've done that a few times. I don't see it. I don't know of anything that needs to be amended, but if anyone here does, we can bring that up in April, the next time, right?
Yes, that's what I was trying to look.
It's
It's quarterly, but I think it only lists 3 months or something. It's like April. I'm sorry, January, April, July, and October.
I think
I think that sounds right.
Yeah. So if anyone has any suggestions, certainly something we can discuss at another meeting.
One other item after we're done with the bylaws.
I think I know what it is, and I've got
So
it.
is there anything else on the bylaws that anyone wants to ask a question about before we move on? All right, now I don't want to forget about the minutes. So has anyone had a chance to look at the November CBA minutes? I'll entertain a motion for that for approval of the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes from the November meeting.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Right, so minutes are approved now. Before we adjourn,
Yes, sorry.
Commissioner.
Great. Garrett, I'm sorry. Yes, that's what I was. You read my mind.
So the town council will be hosting a FOI workshop Thursday evening at 6 o'clock for all commission members and town staff. It'll be in the council chambers here, so not the pavilion. It'll also be on Zoom. So I believe I sent this to everyone, but I'll resend it.
Can you yeah, would you please?
Yeah, so
resend?
there's a link
Thank you.
and then it'll also be recorded. So if you're unable to attend, it'll get posted to the town's YouTube page probably Friday or Monday. When we send out the minutes, I'll send out the recording with everyone to everyone. So that way, if you were unable to attend, you can still view the recording.
Perfect. And I'll just echo, I think it's important that everyone on this board know, if they don't already, know of what the Freedom of Information Act requires. We have never, in my experience, gone into executive session. We used to call the vote executive session, but we did it in public. So it was called for years. And so we stopped calling it. Because we had the executive session in public. But there are maybe things that you should know about, that any discussion that's had, any emails that are sent by the staff are a part of the public record. So anything you write in response would be in the public record. But I think everyone should attend or at least watch it, even if it's after the fact. So
There's also been some statutory changes, probably. Most of the people on the board remember. So
yeah,
it's a good refresher.
And that's this Thursday?
Yes, this Thursday at 6 p.m. In person or in Zoom. On Zoom.
And recorded, right?
Yes, and recorded. It's more of if you have any questions that you want to ask, you got to do it in person. Otherwise, you can just watch the recording.
You can ask the question, but no one will be there.
There you go. That too.
Thanks,
I'll entertain. Is there anything else before we move? I entertain a motion to adjourn.
No, I'm expecting an application for your February meeting. At least one. But I'm only aware of one that might come in for February.
And is it because it'd be the day after President's Day again?
Yes, it'll be a Tuesday. I think we have more Tuesday meetings than Monday meetings this year. For sure.
Yeah.
Between holidays and town council. So but yes, it'll be the 20th. So we're just waiting. I think the deadline is Monday for the ZBA meeting. So they have until Monday to submit applications.
So at this point, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, everyone.
Got me a brain.